such a fucking banger. Um, and I messaged Tom on the side. I'm like, how do you drop your best album and fucking clock out right now? Like, how did you do that to me? Um, they're very dear friends of ours for such a long time. We've toured with them many, many times in the past. So currently, I have been, it's been a reliable source of energy and happiness, and I'm always happy to hear my friends creating such beautiful art share with the world. So the new Straight from the Path album has been my go-to.
G'day everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of Instant Mood Improver, where we talk about the music that puts a pep in your step, turns your frown upside down, and otherwise makes this miserable existence a little bit more enjoyable, if only for 3 minutes at a time. I'm your host, Bretton Harris, and today I am joined in conversation by the wonderful Jeff from Letlive. How are you?
I'm good, my man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good in the very early hours of the Australian winter.
Ooh, what's that right now?
It's 8:45.
Oh, in the morning. And
yeah.
By what are we talking temperature-wise?
It's 4 degrees Celsius outside.
Okay, all right. That's pretty chilly, actually. I'm gonna give that to you.
Yeah, that's Melbourne, which is easily one of the colder climates.
I'm surprised, to be honest. Yeah. Well, hope you're warm.
Yeah, I mean, getting there. I've got a coffee.
Good. Hey, I got a coffee.
Hey, there we go.
Cheers.
So, the general premise of the podcast, man, is we talk about music that makes you feel happy. And then we talk about your own music and how that makes other people feel happy. And about the fact that you're coming out to Australia for the final time. So let's start out with the music that makes you happy. What do you listen to give yourself a big boost?
Oh, my God. So right now, and I'm totally going to give this shout out, I have been listening to recently the new Straight from the Path album. That has been such a fucking banger. And I messaged Tom on the side. I'm like, how do you drop your best album and fucking clock out right now? Like, how did you do that to me? They're very dear friends of ours for such a long time. We've toured with them many, many times in the past. So currently, I have been, it's been a reliable source of energy and happiness, and I'm always happy to hear my friends creating such beautiful art share with the world. So the new Straight from the Path album has been my go-to for probably the last week. Although Bad Omens just dropped a new single recently too, and that shit put me on my ass as well. So, but that's only been about a day. It's been a repeat for about a day right now. It's also new to my playlist. So
Straight from the Path album, man, is so good. It's one of their angriest releases as well, which is a really cool way to go out. I think it's like going out swinging on the top of your game instead of fading out. I'm actually going to see them next week because they're coming down to Australia for the final time next week.
It's so sick, and they sound incredible. The live show, they actually just played. They passed through here. They did the LA Warped Tour down here in Long Beach, and I fucking missed them. I missed the damn show, and I'm almost partly embarrassed to even message him to apologize. The simple fact, I fucking missed my friend. Like, how do you do something like that? But I had family engagements that I couldn't talk my way out of. But dude, just from what I've been hearing and the feedback has just been incredible. So please enjoy that. That's going to be a relentless, fucking energized goddamn show. Like, I'm so stoked for them. Yeah, it's a masterpiece to me. I just, subjectively speaking, like, I think that shit's a masterpiece right now. Totally crushed it.
They did totally crush it. Is there a particular track on it that you found yourself returning to more, or you just like the whole thing?
I just like the whole damn thing. It's just fire from the beginning. No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't alienate one song specifically. I think there's so many songs on that album that, I mean, I'm laughing talking about it. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. The whole thing.
It's so awesome, and that, I feel like that's the best way to go out. And I mean, Letlive sort of doing the same thing here. You come back together to play one last run of shows. It's headed down under, which is awesome. I saw you the last time you were out here. I have the set list up there actually, from your tiny show at the underneath a hotel with Every Time I Die on the yeah.
I vividly remember that show too. Yeah, that was tiny. The roof was low. That was, oh my God, forgive me, 2017, 16?
Yeah, 2017, because you guys came out for Unify together, and then you did those shows. It was like you played 170 Russell, which is the venue Straight from the Path are playing, and then you also played that little youth center thing. It was a wild time. I have distinct memories of Jason doing a backflip off someone in the crowd.
Sounds about right.
So I guess my question for you here is, what's that experience been like, getting back into playing the Letlive material and being back playing those songs and going out on your own terms this time around?
Yeah, it feels awesome. Like it feels amazing. It's not only like, very generous levels of nostalgia, but it's energized in such a different way. It feels awesome, and to be frank with you, it feels like not even 5 minutes have passed. Remember the first time we all stepped foot together in the just rehearsal studio? It's as if we never even stopped. We all looked at each other, and it feels like we never stopped, man. We kind of stepped up there and just did what we did, and it felt and sounded amazing. I will never discredit, the sonic elements or the representation of what we sounded like in the past, but this shit just sounds to me better and more. I'm not gonna blow it, but just show up. Just come and watch the show. It's a really great fucking time. I think the energy is so on point, and we are so at peace. Personally, like whether it's internally and externally, and life speaking in general. I think we've been through so much, and just be able to do that in this era of our life is something very magical. And we're very thankful to be able to share that with our friends today in this new chapter of whatever this is, as we say goodbye to everybody. So it's fucking sick, dude. Am I allowed to cuss on here? Sorry.
Absolutely, you can do whatever you want. It's Australia, man.
It's great.
Here, I'll make it as awkward as possible. It's Australia. We use the word cunt like it's the word mate.
Love it. God forbid try to say that in California right now. That wouldn't go over too well. But yeah, we're so hyped, and to be able to put our feet on the soil on your side of the world again is such a fucking blessing to us. It's so surreal as we sit here, wait and counting down the days to get there. Like 3 weeks left or something.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, as you're going back and playing this music and sort of almost reinventing it in a way, because you've got this refreshed lineup and you've got this new way of performing, is there a song or a record that you're enjoying going back to more than the others?
Oh my God. No, there's really not. I think like every song that's like, how do I say this in the most peaceful, respectful way? It's like walking into a room, we have 4 children, and then somebody else is your favorite child. Like how do you answer that? I think every child, if you will, delivers different aspects or assets into my life personally. I've had moments with every one of these tracks. It's even very, very difficult and challenging to choose, which set we're going to be playing every night, because there are family favorites in our camp. It's super hard, and I think also every album in that catalog delivers, holds different weight and delivers different kind of energy. And that pulsation that we want to deliver into a room, it's different. And sometimes we're even changing songs out like 10 minutes before we hit a stage, just depending on the vibe of the room itself. Typical Letlive fashion. So no, I mean, but fuck, dude, playing some of those songs from Fake History or even Black is Beautiful, like I can't put all of our laundry outside for everybody to see right now, but they fucking smashed that. It hit so hard, and you see a smile on my face, and it's very hard to sit here and like maintain my composure, trying to what's better and what's not. And even some of the slower material we're playing is just so powerful in the room. And we're very, very grateful for all of this. It is really a very surreal chain of events that's happening in our lives right now. Just the simple fact that people still give a shit to support it and show love the way that they have been is the sole reason, the driving factor behind why we are even showing face this last time. It's because of you guys. So we are very thankful. And again, I'm probably going to say this 100 times. Like, we're so lucky. Like, we're so damn lucky.
It's just really refreshing to hear. Like, not everyone comes on in such a in such a chipper mood.
That's crazy. Yeah, always. Because there's been so much time in our lives, or in my life, just having dark days and just being down, and until you kind of come to this realization that there's still beauty in darkness, and there's so many learning points that hold weight in your life from some of the shittiest times in your life. And I think I'd be a straight idiot to be so ignorant towards, said situations or things that I've been a part of in my world, because it shaped me into the person that I am today. And I get to show face on a stage and share it with everybody. And hopefully, I always want to deliver like a positive sense of energy that comes off of me when you're around me versus, just being a moody little bitch all the time. And I've spent many years of my life being just that. So why not? And life is so short. And we're sitting here talking, and do you know how fast the last 6+ whatever years have flew by? I can't believe that I'm having these conversations right now. It feels like yesterday. Like, you're telling me about the show we played back in 2017, and we're headed into 2026. It's like 5 minutes. That was 2 days ago. Literally 2 days ago. I think some of the pedals that I use on my pedal board still have like stains and drop pieces of whatever on the pedal that I never cleaned. Like, it felt like no time has passed at all. So
yeah, I can understand that. It also feels to me like no time has passed at all as well, if that helps. And I went all of a sudden from being like in just venturing into my 30s to nearly being 40. So
yeah, we did it. We saw the transitioning factors in all things and most things in life, like technologically speaking to musically, our world of entertainment, the shift from like physical units being so like stream culture and playlist culture and swipe culture. I mean, we've seen everything.
Basically, anything that made things less personal, we've been here to witness.
And what blows my mind is that so many people have comments like that. Like, even now, as I'm being reintroduced. So I spent almost a half a decade outside of the world of music for a long time, kind of self-discovering different avenues that I had interest in, and coming back to this now and having these conversations, and I'm relearning all of this. There's a lot of processes that are new, and I'm not ashamed to admit to that. It's all learning curves for me, and a lot of people will say that it's just like the dismantling of like any piece of substance we had in fucking all things in life, or just being a human, or just being friends with people. Not even just speaking of music, and just the levels of, the C word, like content taking over the actual art itself, or the music. And most of the interviews and stuff that I've done, especially in your side of the world, it's a lot of, you guys talk about it a lot, and it's really a beautiful thing that's actually recognized, because out here where I live right now in Los Angeles, we don't have so much of that. I think it depends on the region that you're at, but it is very refreshing to hear that it is missed, because we miss it just the same. And I think this reformation of Letlive and coming out and wanting to say goodbye and leaving this mark, and however it's accepted, is us speaking of just that, and just the essence of art, and how it should never be forgotten, and it should come first. And I think listening to albums and spending your time investing in those emotional connections you have with artists in a mystique kind of way through their songs and those journeys that we grew up listening to those, is something that's so much more important than me sitting on a TikTok and you watching me do my fucking dishes, and the style of how like I brush my fucking teeth, and if I don't have enough, enough followers, enough views, I can't get a record executive to listen to my music, even though I've been in the game for 20 plus years. And I say this respectfully. This is such a subjective topic because I can sit at a family table at dinner and try to say the same things to my younger cousins as I'm saying to you, and they'll think that I'm batshit crazy. They're like, "You're fucking old, dude. Like, get with the times. It's stupid." But to each their own, and however everybody wants to approach the business model that sits behind, the process of distributing their music and sharing. To each their own. I respect the way everybody does.
Of course. Well, I mean, I didn't necessarily get into all the bands I got into via the most direct or necessarily official of ways. I mean, we are of the Napster generation, and
that's crazy. It's crazy. We watched the whole thing unfold, all of it, everything.
I do remember I got given a copy of Fake History on one of those record label blanks that they used to send out to reviewers. And I remember throwing it into my car, which was something called a Holden Commodore out here. I threw that into my Holden Commodore at the time, and I was driving back from my shitty job at JB Hi-Fi. And I remember the very first time that I heard the prologue and got into the record that I got a speeding fine.
That's awesome.
Because I got so into it.
Sorry we contributed to that happening to you, but entire. You'll never forget that ticket, like ever.
And that sort of started my my enjoyment of the band. And I don't blame you for the speeding ticket. I blame the 6.8 billion.
I love that
for it. But I was smashing out the drums on the old steering wheel and cruising along, and it did that memory just now has just made me wonder, what's the most common thing you hear from fans about Letlive and its impact on people's lives? Like, is it a band that's meant a lot to people in their struggles? Is it a band that's met a lot of people? Have you like soundtracked weddings? Have you been there for big moments of people's lives? Anything particular stand out that has stayed with you over the years?
Yeah, I think so. It's always mind blowing to me the impact that our catalogs have had on people's lives in general, because I think the symbolic nature in the way that Jason approaches his lyrics poetically, are direct or indirect even representations of so many different aspects of life in general, whether those are your views on politics or religion or just love or finding yourself, hitting at different aspects of like depression and anxiety and things that we all go through growing up. We all grew up together, and we just got home from a run in Europe, in the UK recently, and we did a couple signings, and just having our friends walk up to the signings with their children now, and just knowing that you held, a heavy weight and an impact. You had an impact on how they evolved as humans and where they are today. And sometimes, even me speaking, like sometimes you needed those records to kind of latch onto while you were going through something in your life and had nobody to talk to. Sometimes it was those records that were there for you indefinitely, any situation. It was the most reliable source of peace for so many people, and no matter what you were going through in your life. And I think for us, we're very thankful to have been a contribution to that, just in general, and helping people get through difficult times in their worlds, or even sometimes solidifying or rejuvenating opinions or things that people wanted to speak about but didn't really have the courage to shed light on in their groups, their social circles, or their families, or their friends, or whatever it may have been. I think Letlive was just that. And us, as you see in the pictures right now, we're going on stage with this huge backdrop that just says love on it. Because I think no matter how you define the definition of love, it is by far the most, and I can say this confidently, it's the most powerful asset we have as humans here in the world. And I think it's just about us as individuals and how you want to use it to your advantage, to better maybe your way of life, or to help other people, or have debates, have peaceful debates. Even something, it doesn't always have to be, not everybody has to be so aligned. I think everybody lives different lives and stuff like that, but Letlive has always been the curator of that, and I think it's always a door that's always been left open for everybody, for, again, different levels of expression and self-defining, and yeah, it's great. It's fucking powerful. Honestly, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing sometimes to watch people walking up to us with their children now, and knowing that our art and the things we shared contributed to helping them get through whatever they need to do, enough to have a child and pass their wisdom on to them and continue to flourish in this fucking crazy world that we all live in, as we all try to figure out how to do this life thing side by side. So I hope that makes sense.
It does make sense. It's a beautiful thing to hear. I am also a musician, and that to me sounds like the dream that you've explained right there, is the idea that something you create can impact people so heavily, and that it can do a little bit of the paying back to music for what it's done for us in our lives, and what it's done for us in our moments when we need someone to, to listen to us, or just to be there, to lean on. And that, so it's very nice to hear. And I'm curious, what music did that for you when you were growing up?
Oh my God, when I grew up back in the day, Jesus, dude, that could have been anything from a old Fleetwood Mac record to a Blink-182 album, to even our vast era of emo, the emo core rock, and that showed face to us in the early 2000s. Like everyone, Dashboard Confessionals, when my first love was breaking up with me and I didn't know who to talk to, and I'm sitting on the beach crying, playing my acoustic guitar, like covering those tracks, then going and crying with him live. It's so much that's it's so much, to even just the angry angst of even old tracks of No Effects, growing up to some of that shit, or old Zeppelin records. I think music is just a vibe, and it's free therapy for you to use at your own discretion. So whatever way you value that.
Yeah, I'm there with you on that Dashboard.
Good.
So is my older sister. I distinctly remember her first bad high school breakup, because all that I heard for the better part of like a month was The Places You've Come to Fear the Most.
Get lost, that just still hits home. Those are timeless tracks created, and so real, like most real, played with instruments and recorded mistakes, beautiful mistakes, and things that should matter in music. And it hit, and it still hits. That will still, hopefully I won't go through such tragedies anymore in my world as I get older. Maybe I'm making, more conscious efforts to making better decisions in my life, but we all still go through hardships, and we still fall on music, and records. And I personally search for songs like that. You can't replace that shit. That's unarguable.
You absolutely can't. It is the best thing human beings have invented, in my opinion. Is music, and it does feel like an inbuilt ability, and an inbuilt thing that we enjoy. It's like an innate enjoyment music brings. You watch. I got little nephews and nieces that aren't old enough to form full sentences yet, but you put music on, and the way that their body responds to it, and the way that their emotions respond to it, is so visceral and so natural that there has to be something in that. There has to be a reason why it's meant so much to people for so long. And I really hope, as we were touching on earlier, that doesn't get lost. And a lot of that, often is those little idiosyncrasies in recordings that can't be fabricated or can't be smoothed out. They add character, they add vibe, they add energy, they add humanity, and that's what you're responding to, right? When you're listening to music.
Absolutely. And you can listen to the tracks, you don't even understand the lyrics. It doesn't even have to be spoken or sang of in your language. I think it's just the vibe and the feel, and you nailed it. Like, how does a 2 or 3-year-old dance? You know what I mean? And they have no understanding even most things in life yet. They're still, the universe is angels that got delivered into this world, but still there's a direct connection to a vibe like that. And so to come back into the world and watch corporate entities taking advantage of such things and people losing the pure definition and the beauty behind the art form just to have a bullshit placement on a fucking playlist that they can post on their Instagram, to me is out fucking outrageous, while there's billionaires making billions of dollars off of the artists without even sharing a penny with us. But we spend thousands and thousands of dollars still creating. There are artists out there who still spend hours and hours and days and months or years and thousands of their own dollars creating these things to share. But it is so cluttered and filled with so much bullshit. And all that we're doing right now is paying the bigger dick in the room to sit on it and brag about it on the fucking news. And that's what I meant by earlier. Like, where is the substance behind the art and things like that? Because there is magic, and it's like the child that you said, they come into our world as angels. They're angels in this world. They know no sin, no harm, no negativity. Everything to them is, they're discovering it for the first time. And something so powerful is music. And to take something so pure and authentic like that and shove that on a paycheck, and hand it off to somebody else who doesn't even know what the fuck your name is, as they raise the yearly subscription rates on people who can barely afford to pay their rent, is fucking absurd to me. And you can't do anything about it. And if you do, you're canceled.
Yeah.
Try to convince them. Sorry, they'll tell you this is the best way for us to be distributing and getting your music out there. But you stuck a fat wall of an algorithm in front of all of it before most of your shit can reach a human, because you need to do things specific to their formulas before it can reach another individual to gain a pure fan base. So you're gaining the fan base of a robot or an indefined form of human to get to a human. So I think the only thing we really have left are the live shows and live concerts, and still trying to draw an audience to get you there, because that shit's untouched. You can't manipulate that. And still with that, sometimes it's just a space bar. Half of the time, everything is just synced. And you don't know what the fuck is real and what's not, because what's most important to the live show now also is the content. Sometimes, it's the content, and I miss reading off the vibrations in a room and having that authentic connection with everybody in that goddamn room who is crying and hurting the same way that you are as you sit there and spill your fucking guts out on the stage. That people have lost that purified connection with what was supposed to be this entire time. And we're watching it get worse every day. And to go back to reflect on what we said earlier, like, it feels good to hear people now speaking about that and speaking up about it, because it is deteriorating all of it. And again, please, this is just my opinion. I could be an old has-been, who fucking knows? But I just watched the change of all of it, and I'm being reintroduced to a lot right now. Like, again, I spent half a decade away from it all, and watching how it all functions now is fucking crazy. And to see what is important to people now, even the artists, sometimes blows my mind, because I still produce, I still songwrite, I still have artists coming to my studio. I'm still very much behind the scenes a lot of the time, and watching the change in the attitude and where the focus is crazy. And if I say anything, I'm offending someone. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. Anyone who is listening to this episode, / watching this episode, we do realize that we just turned this into a couple of millennial boomers bitch about about the state of the planet.
Probably, but the thing is, like, when you say things like this, then people go face, and then they'll come out and they feel more comfortable having conversations. But nobody talks about it. And I think we're all struggling the same way. We honestly are. Like, everybody's struggling. Like, again, you spend thousands and thousands of your dollars, and you're getting 0.0003 cents to every stream that you're lucky to grab. On the internet.
It's pretty intense. But as you touched on, the live show, for the most part, still untouched. And you are lucky in a sense, because you go on stage every night, every show that you play, with a walking highlight film of a human being in the form of Jason Aalon Butler. And getting you back to some pleasant memories of your touring experiences in Australia, I just recall being at Unify. The weather was atrocious that day. Like, it had poured down. My lilo had popped in the wind, so we had nothing. We slept on the ground, like in our tent. So for my other half, but Jason went on stage and crowd surfed from the stage to the back of the festival in a wheelie bin.
Sounds about right.
Yep, and then stood on it and crowd surfed his way back to stage, climbed a lighting fixture, hung off that, slid down on the microphone, and ended his set in his underwear. And I remember that being a lot of people's first ever experience of Letlive live, and watching the impact that had on their faces. And yes, a lot of phones had emerged to film those moments. But what I want to know is, does he plan any of that shit, or is that just his visceral responses to going?
Nothing is planned ever at all, ever at all. And he is still one of the sweetest, most genuine humans that I have in my life. That guy is an angel underneath all of the dirt and the darkness he fucking projects on a goddamn stage. But it is so pure and authentic, and he is such a unique human. I say this with the most confidence. There is nothing is planned. We don't even ever show up to a venue or a festival per se and like study the stage and kind of figure out what we want to do and what would be cool and what we wouldn't. We have no idea. Yeah, and we're glad. It's really refreshing to hear you say that as well, because even now we just did a festival, and in this era and this new age thing, Jason is on stage with his underwear, and some people are not really so understanding of that. They're like, "Oh, you could have put on better clothes, planned your outfit before you got on stage. What is this? Like, you should tap back and study what the Doors did back in the day. Been like study the authenticity of like punk rock music and things." And we just sit here and laugh. Like, there's a whole generation that needs to be reintroduced to the mayhem sometimes, and with these farewell tours, we are so graciously appreciative to been to be a part of it is so fun. And to see even the negative responses that we're getting from what the fuck is this guy doing is the best shit. It's the best shit. And what's most important is we are having so much fun and we are together. And I'm just so damn lucky. Yeah, we're lucky to still be a part of all this.
Feels like a very nice spot to start winding up our chat, because I know I've kept you beyond the time. But it's very nice to hear someone so appreciative of the moment that they're living in, and so attuned with the things that made them love music in the first place still. And and if there's one thing I'm getting out of all these conversations, sort of touching on the more positive side of music with people. And look, I've had some crazy answers to the question, like, what music makes you feel good? Like, I've had people talk about Rotting Christ and like Timmy Borgir and like all the way through to novelty hit songs of Euro dance nature and whatnot. And but all of it comes back to this pure and authentic investment and emotional enjoyment with music. And it's so nice to hear that as a band, well, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, appear to be winding up forever. it's that's still present, and you're still enjoying that experience out with people.
Yeah, I think music, it can't be defined. I think it's whatever it means to you, and it doesn't matter. You can listen to a Children of Bodom record that can probably still deliver the same kind of energy or emotion as like a Rufus Du Sol album that I would sit in my living room and just cry over. It's just the best, and I love that. And that's something that can't be altered ever. There is no competitive state to that. I think us as humans, we will always be attracted to it. But I think what's most important is trying to keep it as pure and honest as we possibly can, so that we always have those sources of, we will always have music as an outlet in our life, indefinitely. I think it's very important. So
that's awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with me today, Jeff. I am quite thrilled to have got a chance to catch Letlive in interview form, but then also to be having the chance to catch you one final time in the live environment, as I'm sure are the rest of Australia. If you haven't bought tickets yet, what the fuck are you doing? They're not going to last forever. There is no other option here. It's come to this show or miss out. So go to the Phoenix AU and pick up your tickets and get down to see Letlive do what they do probably better than any other band in the genre, and that is the unexpected. And I'm sure you'll have a blast. But if both of us could tell you to go and listen to one thing right now, and I can say this with all of my heart because I also love this record, go and check out Clockwork by Stray from the Path, because it's probably the best farewell I've heard from a band, because they're not going out burnt out. They're not going out with nothing left to say. They've gone out swinging. And if you want evidence of them going out swinging, listen to the song Can I Have Your Autograph?
Yeah. Please. So good. I love the fact you just gave that shout out. So much respect and love for them.
Because that song comments on a rather disturbing trend in the music industry at the moment and in the world at the moment. And I feel like it's spiritually aligned with what Letlive are throwing down as they make their exit. So get out there and do that. Whatever you're into, continue to be into it. Whatever you're loving in life right now, soundtrack it with music so you remember it forever. And I will see you down under in 3 weeks, man. You'll be in Melbourne in 3 weeks.
Yep. Couldn't even come any sooner. Thanks, man. It's been a pleasure. We'll definitely